Friends, now exemption number 65A. Very simple. Services by way of providing information under RTI Act. So whenever an application is made under RTI, fees is payable. So services provided under RTI are exempt. Next entry is important. That is in relation to educational institution. For that, it is important to understand the definition of the term educational institute, which is in clause number Y. So after the end of this table, you go to the definition part and come to clause number Y. That says educational institution means an institution providing services by way of preschool education and education up to higher secondary school or equivalent. Preschool as well as up to higher school. Number 2, education as a part of curriculum for obtaining a qualification recognized by any law for the time being in force. And number 3, education as a part of an approved vocational education courses. Right? So educational institution which itself is recognized by law, and this is offering the education in relation to legally recognized qualifications, so whether it is academic or it is professional or it is vocational. That is called as educational institution. Now certain services by the educational institutions are exempt and certain services to the educational institution are exempt. So for entry number 66, entry number 66, here we will put educational institution. Now in educational institution, services are divided in two parts: by educational institution and to educational institution. Now as far as services by educational institution are concerned, this we can understand in three parts. This is to students, staff and faculty. So whatever services are given by the education institution to the students, to the staff and faculty, those are fully exempt. And conduct of entrance exam, conduct of entrance exam. Now even if the fees is charged for entrance exam, and then it comes to others. Now lots of education institutions in Mumbai have the big auditoriums, and when those are not in use, those are rented out. So in that case it becomes to others. Now when the services are given by education institution to the student, to the staff, to the faculty, and for conduct of the entrance exam, these are exempt. But services given to any other person, those will not be exempt, those are taxable. These are taxable services. Right? So this is one bifurcation. Services by educational institution. This is one important exemption. So take a note seriously. Then services to educational institution. Now come to entry number 66. This is clause number B. This is to an educational institution by way of transportation of the student, faculty and staff. This is transportation of students, faculty and staff. Students, faculty, staff. So all transportation services availed by the educational institution for any other purpose, sit when they are traveling as a passenger, otherwise this exemption will not be available. Then the services of the transportation, these are the, you can say, some guest is invited by the educational institution and for them taxi is hired, then that exemption will not be available. The number 2, it says catering including midday meals scheme. Catering including midday meals. Number 3, security, cleaning and housekeeping. Security, cleaning and housekeeping. Number 4, services relating to admission and conduct of exam. Admission and conduct of exams. So services given by paper setters, services given by invigilators, services given by evaluators, those are in relation to conduct of exams. So all those will get exempted, but there is a condition, not general, right? Now this says provided that nothing in subsection 1, 2, 3 or B shall apply to education institution other than institution providing by way of preschool education up to higher secondary school. So 1, 2 and 3. So these are only for primary, secondary and higher secondary. So in case of colleges, this facility will not be under exemption, right? So this is important. So that's why I said this is not general. You cannot remember this without this. If you forget this, entire thing will go wrong. So services given to an educational institution which is in relation to primary, secondary and higher secondary education, and that is transportation of student, faculty, staff, catering facility and security, then that is exempt, otherwise not. But conduct of exam, and this is for all. Then it further says, provided that further nothing contained in item number 5 of B shall apply to the institution providing services by way of pre-educational institution, preschool education, education of higher secondary and so, and education is a part of approved vocational educational courses. So this number 5 is actually, this is for online support. So this online support is not for, so this is provided nothing contained here shall apply to the institution. So this is not for primary, secondary, higher secondary and vocational. It means this is for professional courses, academic courses, but after the higher secondary level, then this will be exempt. If these schools also provide, the exemption will not be there, because if they are charging a fees, that will not be. So this is something relevant and very, very important exemption. So educational institution, first, that is defined under clause number Y. So this is an institution recognized by law and it is giving education either pre-primary or secondary or higher secondary, or it is providing any other degree or certificate recognized by law, or it is providing a vocational education, but vocational education is also recognized by law. So educational institution giving services to the student, staff, faculty, those are exempt. Those are giving services in relation to the conduct of exam, those are exempt. But services given by educational institution to anyone, those will be taxable. But services given to educational institution, transportation of student, faculty, staff, that is exempt provided these are the students. Similarly, catering and security, cleaning, housekeeping, then these are the services. Admission, conduct of exam, any educational institution, online support, any but other than primary, secondary and higher secondary. So this is an important exemption. Read it very carefully, because practical questions can very well be framed on this exemption. So this is exemption number 66. Now we move to exemption number 67, that is specifically for IIM. In case of IIM, exemption is available only for 3 courses: 2 years full-time course, 5 years integrated course and their fellowship program. So if the IIM conducts any other program and if they have any other income from any other service, that will be taxable. So now I'm coming to number 67. Number 67. This is about IIM. Now IIM, this is 2 years course, then there is 5 years course, there is fellowship program, and there are other programs, as well as there are other activities. Other programs, all IIMs conduct executive programs, all IIM conduct placement programs, and when the companies go to the campus for IIM placement, the companies have to pay a fees. Executive programs, IIM charges heavy fees, right? So exemption is available only for these, all these things will be taxable. So it is not that the IIM is an educational institution, that's why it is exempt. No, only these courses are exempt. 2 years course, 5 years course, as well as fellowship program is exempt. Rest all are taxable. Then comes entry number 68. This is services provided to a recognized sports body. Services provided to a recognized sports body. Who is the service provider? Service provider must be directly related to the sports. So either he is a player, or he is a team manager, or he is a referee, or he is a umpire, or he is a coach. Then those services are exempt, or the services provided by another recognized body are exempt, right? So we come to number 68. 68, these are services to recognized sports body. Who is the service provider? Here we have player, coach, umpire, referee, manager, and here we have any other. Now remember this, we are talking about services to. Now any other person providing service, in this also we will divide that. Another recognized sports body and others. So services provided to a recognized sports body by player, coach, umpire, referee, manager, as well as by another recognized sports body, these will be exempt. right? Services given by any other person. Say for example, this is service of a hotel, this is service of transportation. These are only examples. All these are taxable. No exemption even if the sporting, if it is a recognized sports body. Okay. Next one, number 69. This is services provided by, this is National Skill Development Corporation, or it is a state-wise development board, or any other person which is conducting their courses, or any person authorized to conduct the assessment of the training. All these are exempt. So this says any service provided by National Skill Development Corporation, number 2 Sector Skill Council, number C Assessment Agency, number D Training Partner. So National Skill Development Corporation, number 2 Sector Skill Development Corporation, number 3 Assessing Agency, number 4 Training Agency. So but only in relation to approved courses, those are exempt. Number 70, now something only to read. Number 70, this is service of assessing the bodies empaneled centrally by the Director General of Training, Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship by way of assessment. Number 71, you can read and omit. Number 72, that is also same. Number 73, services provided by cord blood bank. This you underline, this is an important. So this is not ordinary blood bank, because ordinary blood banks are covered under the clinical establishment, those are already exempt. This is exclusively cord blood bank. Then number 74, this is relevant. This says service by way of healthcare services by clinical establishment or an authorized medical or paramedics. Now what these are healthcare services. Now healthcare service is a defined term. For that we can go in the definition section and can refer what is the meaning of healthcare service. Healthcare service, it is clause number ZG. So this says means any service by way of diagnosis or treatment or care for illness, injury, deformity, abnormality or pregnancy in any recognized system of medicine in India includes service by way of transportation of the patient to and from a clinical establishment, but does not include hair transplant or cosmetic or plastic surgery except when undertaken to restore or to reconstruct anatomy or function of the body affected due to congenital defects, developmental abnormalities and injury or trauma. So whether it is a question of diagnosis or it is a question of treatment, and it is under any approved system of medicine in India, including transportation of patient to or from clinical establishment, that is called health care, right? But in case of disease, that is already covered under schedule 3, that is not considered as a service. So here we are talking about transportation of the passenger, then diagnosis, then treatment under any approved system of medicine in India. And paramedics, those who are required for supporting the medical facilities. So first example comes nurses, number 2 comes physiotherapists, they are referred as paramedics. So this is healthcare establishment or authorized medical practitioner or paramedics. The number B says services provided by way of transportation of the patients in ambulance but other than specified in A above. Because healthcare service automatically includes transportation of patient. So when the transportation of patient facility, that is the ambulance facility, is given by a clinical establishment, that is covered in part A. But when the ambulance facility is given independently, not by the clinical establishment, that is also exempt but in clause B. The number 75, this is services provided by operator of the common biomedical waste treatment. So friends, every hospital or clinical establishment is required to have a facility for disposal of biomedical waste. But a smaller establishment, they cannot have this facility. So in a bigger cities, all smaller hospitals get associated with one person who's having a common facility for disposal of biomedical waste. So not only disposal, all services which are ancillary or incidental for providing the services of the disposal of biomedical waste. Now say one establishment is there in the center of the city or maybe in the part of the city, but before the disposal he is required to collect. So transportation collection will also be a part of that service. So all services in relation to disposal of biomedical waste, it is a common facility. So if that facility is already existing in the clinical establishment, that is already exempt. But somebody is not, which is not a clinical establishment, but it is only a facility for disposal of biomedical waste, that is also exempt. Then comes number 76. This is service by way of public convenience. Read and omit. Then number 77. This is service by an unincorporated body or non-profit registered under any law for the time being enforced to the own members by way of reimbursement of the charges. So an unregistered body, it is charging money from the members and it is giving the facility or services for the same. Then that is not chargeable provided it is a non-profit organization or it is not a incorporated body. Right. Now here something is important. This is as a trade union or for the provision carrying out activity which is exempt and up to an amount of 7,500 rupee per month per member for sourcing of goods or services third person for common use of the members in the housing society. Now for housing society, this is not for any commercial society. This is exclusively for housing society. If the housing society is charging per member not more than 7,500 rupees, then that will be exempt. If it is more than 7,500, it will become taxable. Right. So in a commercial society, this will not be applicable. If it is a society where the commercial plus residential is there, this exemption is not applicable. This has to be a housing society. Monthly collection for the maintenance for common facilities not more than 7,500 rupees, that is exempt. Earlier this figure was 5,000, now it is 7,500. Exemption number 78. This is service by an artist by way of performance of the either music or dance or theatre. Performance services in relation to folk music, dance or theatre, provided the remuneration for each performance does not exceed rupees 1,50,000. So these are the actual performance services, performance of folk dance, music, theatre, and per performance fees is not more than 1,50,000 rupees, then that is exempt. But the same person not doing the performance but acting as a brand ambassador for somebody else for promotion of the brand, that is not exempt, that will be taxable even if the amount is less than 1,50,000 rupees. Then remaining exemptions number 79, that is admission to the museum, national park, wildlife sanctuary, and these are, so remaining 2-3 entries I am leaving it for your homework, you can read it. Now the last one, 82, this talks about services by way of right to the admission to the events organized by FIFA. So services by FIFA, services to FIFA, those are exempt under entry number 9A. If you go back to and refer entry number 9A, services by FIFA, services to FIFA, those are exempt. Now the people who are there who are attending the program, that is also exempt under entry number 82. So friends, in this exemption notification number 12 of 2017, more than 95 exemptions are there, and the important exemptions I have done on board. It does not mean remaining exemptions are not relevant, those are also important. So what I suggest you to do is that on day-to-day basis, add 5 exemptions in a day or maybe 10 exemptions in a day, then you can remember all. If you try to do everything in one go, it is absolutely impossible to remember all the exemptions. So I also referred the notification. I want you also to refer the notification. number of times, once, twice, thrice, 4 times, 5 times. I have read it number of times, still it is not clear to me 100%. So don't expect that 2, 3, 4 readings will help you to understand this, right? So read as many times as possible, and every time you read, you will understand something new, right? So this also brings us to the end of exemptions under GST. Thank you.